Hello everybody, welcome to the United Stands. I'm Mark Goldbridge and this is your player rating show for Manchester United's 2-1 loss to Newcastle. Still hot off the press. I've took a few minutes to look around socials and see what people have had to say. Obviously Michael Carrick's had his say as well, which we'll talk about in a moment. But look, we're here to do the player ratings, of course, marking every player out of 10, 6 being the average and star for your man of the match. And look, I think, first things first, Le Mans for me was probably a 6. 5.7 doesn't surprise me. Can't do much on the penalty. Can't really do much on the goal because Maguire, I actually saw somebody blaming Le Mans for the goal. And I was like, he can't do anything. It's an absolutely brilliant goal. He's curled it, he's smashed it, and he's used Harry Maguire. You can't see it. Keeper can't do anything about it. He came and collected a lot of good crosses. I don't think Le Mans did anything wrong today. In fact, I still see the positives of having a goalkeeper that's very confident in coming to collect those crosses. So I don't really have a problem with Le Mans. I think he was let down by other people. Mazraoui today was probably a 6, I think, if we're being honest. Again, I don't think he's responsible for that. It's not his job to attack with 10 men. It's not his job to stop those goals. He wasn't on the pitch for one of them, and the penalty was nothing to do with him. So I actually think Mazraoui was trying to get forward, and he played right back and left back. So I haven't got a problem with Mazraoui either. And similarly with Lenny Yoro, I'd probably give him a 6. Again, I think people are going to give low scores because they're not happy with the result, and I do get that. But I thought Lenny Yoro did okay. Average, that's what 6 is. Nearly scored a goal. I thought he headed it quite well. I thought Ramsdale made a good save. And, it wasn't like against 10 men at the weekend where they didn't have anything to do after the 10 men. Newcastle did attack a lot. So I thought Yoro did okay. And again, look, I'd probably give Maguire a 5.5 simply because of the winning goal. I think I probably would have given him a 6 before that. But on the winning goal, you've got to be thinking, look, the lack of pace of Maguire hurts us, first of all, because he knocks it down the line and a reasonably quick centre-back would have ran across and slid it out for a throw-in, but he realises he's not quick enough. I've always said this about Maguire in a back four. If he gets in a position where it's about pace, you're in trouble, and a normal, fast centre-back would have got there and he wouldn't have got in. Then when he does get there, Malacia tracks back and he sort of wanders into the middle, and it probably should be a little bit closer to block the shot as well. So I think on the winning goal, Maguire was a bit poor. He had just played 90 minutes of football. But again, I think that's more of a reflection of what the club's planning to do with Maguire, because if we were playing with Amorim in a back three, Maguire for another year makes sense. But Maguire in a back four doesn't make sense for another year. He's never been that comfortable in it, and he's not particularly quick. So I don't really know why we're keeping him for another year. Probably because it's cheap. But in a back four, I just don't think it'll work. But tonight, probably a 5.5. Luke Shaw, 5 for me. I don't really blame Carrick for dropping Dalot for Mazraoui and starting Shaw, because Dalot came on and was crap anyway. But Shaw shouldn't have been playing anyway. We just don't have anybody else. I mean, Malacia isn't even a Premier League player. So, yeah, it's a massive problem. And people will talk about the midfield, and we all know that the midfield was abysmal, but the fullbacks are crap. Mazraoui's a decent fullback, but beyond that, it's a really big problem for Man United. And we'll have to see what the lasting impact of tonight and the last few games are, because we haven't played well against Palace, we haven't played well against Everton, and we haven't played well against West Ham, but we did manage to get the results. Tonight we got what we deserved, not playing well again. So Luke Shaw, very poor. If Tuchel calls him up for England, he's an idiot, basically. I mean, you look at Lewis Hall, he put 2 crosses in the first 15 minutes. I don't think Luke Shaw's put 2 crosses in all year. I am joking, but he doesn't put crosses in. Casemiro, look, the goal was good, so I'll give him a 6, but, I mean, he was battered today. The speed and power of Joel Linton and Tonali showed me why this is a year too far for Casemiro next year. When he comes up against good midfielders in a more open midfield, he's in trouble. And he's brilliant in the air. He's brilliant going forward. And it was a shame he went off, because I think when you're looking for a goal, he's always good from a set piece. But I think he came off because he was tired. There's no explanation for why he came off so early. It can't be tactical. You wouldn't take Casemiro off tactically. So it must have been pure fatigue, which is scary, considering we've played next to no games this season, and people can't play 2 games in 3 days. It's what we want to do next season, isn't it? Which is why Casemiro can't be part of it. Man Utd today's got to be a 5, 5.4 for 4.5 from you. Yeah, look, I'm a big fan of Man Utd, and I repeat what was said at the weekend. I think for the first half of the season, it didn't matter what he did, he wasn't going to play. And for the second half of the season, it doesn't matter what he does, he is going to play. And both of those things aren't good. No matter how well you do in training, you're not starting. And no matter how bad you play in the first team, you're not being dropped. And he's a young kid who probably needs the balance of, if you play well, you'll play, but if you don't play well, you won't. And he hasn't got that. He has gone from one extreme to another. And again, if he's getting in the England squad, I don't know how bad England's midfield is, because Mainu hasn't played that well for about 3 weeks. And I like Mainu. I'm a big fan. Let's get the contract signed. But he was poor today against a very good midfield. He was poor. And if Tuchel was watching that game, he would go, no. Because he got even when Ramsey was on the pitch. I remember Ramsey in the first 10 minutes just barging him off the ball. So no, Mainu was not good today. Not good. And neither was Mbeumo. Look, we've lost 2-1 to 10 men. We don't need to be generous. 5, again, Mbeumo. Look, he should have scored. We're always a threat. Newcastle played very open. And when we got the ball in the right places, you're going to get the ball to Cunha and you're going to get the ball to Mbeumo. And I think he had plenty of ball and didn't do enough with it. I thought he was off today. I think he's been a very good signing, but it was a poor performance from Mbeumo today. And realistically, if we're being completely honest, against Villa, Mbeumo should go to the bench and Ahmad should start. That's what's happened with Ahmad, and it was the right thing to do. But I think Mbeumo should be going to the bench. I mean, it probably end up being Sesko, but I think Mbeumo should go to the bench for the next game, because I think his last few performances just haven't really been at the level we would expect, and probably needs a bit of a kick up the backside, which is what all good players need when they're not performing. Look, Bruno's the guy, isn't he? 6.5 and my man of the match. It wasn't brilliant from Bruno today, but I just think there was that pass he slid into Mbeumo where Mbeumo messed it up. There was a cross to the back post to Cunha where he messed it up. There was a cross into Yoro where he nearly scored. There was the cross into Casemiro. On a different day, he might have had 3 assists. And we played crap, and we didn't deserve to win. But this is the thing about Bruno. When you look at the Crystal Palace game, I don't think we played very well. They had a man sent off. Bruno was brilliant. And that's happened so many times this season. And I think today, Bruno's done his job. We didn't deserve to win. We were crap. But Bruno still provided the opportunities that might have got us a win out of jail. It's nothing to do with tactics. It's nothing to do with the coach. It's nothing to do with the rest of the team. This is why we pay Bruno Fernandes 300 grand a week. And this is why if you put him in a Real Madrid side, he'd be fucking brilliant. Because even when we don't deserve to win and we're shit, he will still provide a platform for us to win. He's done his job tonight. He's provided as a platform to win. People haven't took the chances he's provided. Fantastic player. Fantastic player. And he was the only player in the first 20 minutes who actually showed some intensity. Cunha didn't work. 5. It didn't work for Cunha today, did it? I've noticed a few people saying he doesn't work hard and he doesn't try. He does. I like Cunha. And there was a couple of glimpses of what Cunha can do. In a way, he's a bit similar to Bruno. He'll produce a couple of things per game out of nothing. And he is that type of player. But is he a left winger? Are we shoehorning Cunha into the team now because we're not playing a system that suited him? Like, under Amorim, we played with 2 number 10s. Cunha would start there. Now he's having to play on the wing because you have to play Bruno at 10. And I think sometimes that hurts us. I don't think he is a winger. I mean, in the second half, I saw opportunities where if he was a winger, he'd just come onto his right foot and curl it to the back post to Sesko. But he won't do that because he's not a winger. So it hurts us having him on the wing, and I think it hurts him. But 5, below average. And I'd probably say the same of Sesko, a 5, simply because it's the old graveyard shift. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Rasmus, Martial, Cavani, Ronaldo, Rashford, every other bloody striker over the last 5 years will know exactly what that's like for tonight for Sesko, because it was a graveyard shift. And look, ultimately, it's true. He had a below average game. He did deserve a 5, but how many crosses did he have on his head? How many chances did he get? It's hard being a striker in a United side when you don't get service, and he didn't get any service tonight. Delo was shocking when he came on. Absolutely shocking. I don't know whether it just doesn't suit him being a substitute or whatever, but he could have been booked. He gave about 2 fouls away. He wouldn't put a cross in the box. He was miles off it. Absolutely miles off it. So, yeah, 4. And Malacia, I'd probably give a 3.5, if I'm being honest. Some of you have given him a 2.5. Just not a Premier League player. I don't even blame him. I thought the substitution was terrible. Like, you could have bought, I'm sure we could have bought somebody else on. I'm looking at the lineup, and we had Aiden Heaven on the bench. So we could have used Aiden Heaven. I mean, Malacia just isn't a Premier League footballer. He looked miles off the pace, and they scored the goal down his side because he was completely and utterly ineffective. I mean, that's whoever on the coaching staff said, let's do that. And Carrick obviously agreed with it. It was a brilliant goal, but it was easily preventable. Like, the finish is brilliant, but there's so many times it could have been stopped before he even got to that position. Agate, look, again, I mean, did he not have it? I mean, that's another cross, Bruno, wasn't it? He had a header as well. And I mean, come on. You can't say Bruno had a bad game. That was another cross that Bruno put in onto Agate's head. I forgot about that one as well. So, yeah, I thought, yeah, that's about Bruno. Agate, look, he's gone in the summer. He's probably got no confidence. I don't think he was terrible when he came on. I really don't think he was. I'd probably give him a 5.5. I don't think he was terrible when he came on. I actually don't. I just think the result is probably a reason that people have a go at him. Ahmad's probably a 5.5 as well. Struggled to get into the game, but again, I don't really feel like it was his doing that we lost the game. And similarly with Xerxes, I'd probably give him a 6 because he had a very good shot. But it's not the substitute's fault, really, is it? As for Michael Carrick, Carrick tonight. This was the one I was dreading, really. I would say Carrick tonight, 6 is average. Well, let me just give you the facts, right? We started with no intensity again. This lack of training, which all the journalists were all kissing his arse for, and some of us were going, how is this a good thing? How is reducing the training to please the players a good thing? One thing that we definitely, when you sack your manager, you normally come in and the new manager goes, they're not fit enough, I've got them running. The one thing that actually happened here, because we didn't sack Amrin for results, we sacked him because of a disagreement, is that the fitness of these players was very good. The intensity of the players, the distance we were covered, we were a very fit team, and we're not anymore. We've done it the other way around. The interims come in and made the team slower and less fit. So another game started where we were just slow. Then, and let's not forget, Newcastle have played midweek for the last 2 months. I think they played like 9 games in January, and I think they played 8 in February. Like they've been playing a game every 3 or 4 days for 2 months, and they ran us off the pitch today. Embarrassing. So the intensity was crap. The performance and tactics were crap. Sit deep and counter. And we still did that against 10 men. The substitutions were crap. And we've been playing like this for the last 3 or 4 games. We've just been getting away with it. So for me, it's probably a 4 tonight. I thought, look, as I've said, we never should have been saying, well, it wasn't me. People never should have been saying, give Carrick the job. And they all look foolish now. All these people for the last few weeks who've been going, I'd give Carrick the job, I'd give the Carrick. And all these people who've been moaning at me and other people for being negative, for saying don't give Carrick the job, look like the flip-flops they are. There was no reason to say give Carrick the job in March or in February. And there's now no reason to say don't give him the job. Stop being a fucking flip-flop and think about the future of the football club. We've got to stop making reactionary decisions and start just thinking properly. The objective for Carrick and his coaching staff and the players is to get us into the Champions League. That's the objective. And just because you do it doesn't mean you get the job. If we'd have won tonight, I still would have said we were crap, because we were. So at the end of the season, we interview good managers and we give the best manager the job. And if we're interviewing Nagelsmann or Pochettino or Enrique, then Carrick doesn't get the job. And if we're interviewing Glasner and Southgate and De Zerbi, then maybe Carrick does get the job. And that's what happens. People need to stop going from give him the job to don't give him the job to give him the job. Like, it's way too early. Way too early. My man of the match, well, hopefully it's going to be Bruno. It is 59% of the vote. Bruno Fernandes, there you go. He is your and my man of the match. And I think when you actually analyse it, he did create about 4 or 5 decent chances in a game where we didn't deserve to win it and we were absolutely crap. Now, what did Michael Carrick say after the game? I will get you his quotes now. We lost the match. We didn't play well enough, but overall we're in a decent position. Tonight hurts. We don't like losing games, but we'll do better next time. We're a good team. We've got good players. Tonight wasn't for us. We must learn from it and improve. We've received a lot of praise lately, and the boys deserve it, but that changes nothing about our approach to the next match. I think there is a bit of delusion from Carrick there, to be honest, because you have received a lot of praise for the results. You haven't received a lot of praise for the performance for a long time. We actually haven't played well since probably Arsenal away. So the praise has been about results. The actual performance, if he thinks the performance has been good over the last month, he's wrong. It hasn't. And he probably will win Manager of the Month in February, but when you think about it, we weren't that good in February. We just got some decent results. So, we can't just brush this around as one of those days, because you could just go, St James's Park's a very difficult place to go. It's not a surprise that we didn't win. We've played really well. It's one of those nights. Let's move on. I think it's a bigger picture. I think the performances have been poor. The vision has been poor. The results have been good. So, I think he has to take that into account. And I also think that realistically, we have got to look at it and go, Carrick seems to be a bit of a nice guy. He needs to give them a rocket up the arse because they're taking the piss. All this reducing training and being their mate, he needs to actually get a bit tough on them because it's not been good enough. Paul Scholes is getting a bit of criticism. Michael has definitely got something special about him because United have been crap last 4 games. Well, what's wrong with that? They have been crap. He was asked what was missing, the quality. Credit to Newcastle, they deserve to win tonight. It hurts me to say that, but that's how it was. We need to get back to work and be better in the next game. And we need to get them back fucking training, mate. 100%. 100%. We did not play good enough and there are no excuses. Oh, absolutely. Okay, make sure you get your comments in as always and smash a like on the video. I'm back with you on the 10 o'clock show live this morning and we have got some interesting news for you. So I'll speak to you then. Thanks for watching. Take care and stay safe.